Fear has a way of feeling completely beyond our control, doesn't it? One moment we're fine, and the next we're caught in its grip, our hearts racing, our minds spinning with worry. It feels involuntary, like breathing or blinking, something that simply happens to us without our permission. But what if this feeling of powerlessness is actually the very thing keeping us trapped? What if fear isn't something that happens to us, but something we're unconsciously choosing? Chapter 2 of the text in A Course in Miracles offers us a profound shift in perspective. It teaches us that being afraid seems to be involuntary, something beyond your control. Yet I have said already that only constructive acts should be involuntary. This isn't about blaming ourselves for feeling afraid. It's about recognizing a truth that can set us free. When we understand that fear is actually a choice we're making, even when it doesn't feel that way, we suddenly have access to a different option. Think about the last time you felt genuinely afraid. Perhaps it was about a relationship, your health, or your future. In that moment, it probably felt like the fear was justified, even necessary. But the Course is pointing us toward something deeper. Fear isn't protecting us. It's actually a signal that we've temporarily forgotten our true nature. We are not helpless victims of circumstance, but powerful beings capable of choosing love over fear in every moment. Every single experience of fear, no matter how different it might appear on the surface, points to the same underlying issue: internal conflict. This is the uncomfortable tension between what we truly want and what we're actually doing with our lives. It's the gap between our deepest values and our daily choices, between our heart's calling and our mind's resistance. When we want peace but find ourselves creating drama, when we desire connection but build walls instead, when we long for freedom but cling to old patterns, this split creates a kind of internal friction that manifests as anxiety, restlessness, and fear. It's like trying to drive with one foot on the gas pedal and the other on the brake. The engine of our being starts to strain under the pressure of these contradictory forces. But here's what's beautiful. The moment we align what we want with what we're actually doing, fear begins to dissolve naturally. It doesn't require force or willpower. It's more like removing the obstacles that were blocking a stream. When there's no longer any internal conflict to sustain it, fear simply has nowhere to live. This alignment isn't about perfection. It's about honesty. It's about having the courage to look at where we might be working against ourselves and gently bringing our actions into harmony with our deepest intentions. Now, here's where the Course offers us something truly revolutionary. Most of us believe we're responsible for our actions, but not our thoughts. We try to manage our behavior while letting our minds run wild with worry, judgment, and fear. But the Course teaches something different. You may believe that you are responsible for what you do, but not for what you think. The truth is that you are responsible for what you think, because it is only at this level that you can exercise choice. This completely changes the game. Our thoughts aren't random events happening in our heads. They're choices we're making moment by moment. Yes, it takes practice to recognize this, especially when we've spent years believing our thoughts just appear automatically. But once we begin to see that we can actually choose what to think about, how to interpret events, and where to focus our attention, everything shifts. We discover that we have far more power than we ever imagined. This doesn't mean we can control every thought that enters our mind, but we can choose which ones we engage with, which ones we feed with our attention, and which ones we simply let pass by like clouds in the sky. This is where true freedom begins, not in trying to control the external world, but in taking conscious responsibility for our internal world. Once we understand that our thoughts are choices, we begin to see something profound. There's an unbroken chain connecting our thoughts to our experiences. Our behaviors don't arise from nowhere. They flow directly from our thinking. Our relationships reflect our beliefs about connection. Our work expresses our understanding of contribution. Our health mirrors our relationship with ourselves. This isn't about blame or shame. It's about empowerment. When we truly grasp this connection, we realize that changing our external world begins with taking charge of our internal world. Instead of trying to rearrange circumstances to feel better, we can shift our thinking and watch our circumstances naturally transform. This is where our real power lies, not in manipulating the world around us, but in choosing the thoughts that create our experience of that world. It's like being the director of our own movie instead of feeling like a helpless character in someone else's script. We may not control every plot twist, but we absolutely have a say in how we interpret and respond to whatever unfolds. This understanding brings tremendous relief because it means we're never truly stuck. There's always another way to think about any situation. At every moment, we have a fundamental choice to make. We can either allow fear to guide our thinking, or we can place our minds under divine guidance. Fear is essentially a signal that we've chosen to think independently of love's wisdom. It's like stepping outside on a cloudy day and forgetting the sun still exists above the clouds. When we notice fear arising, instead of fighting it or judging ourselves for feeling it, we can simply recognize it as information. It's telling us we've temporarily forgotten our connection to something greater than our small, worried self. The beautiful thing is that the moment we recognize this, we can make a different choice. We can pause, breathe, and ask, what would love think about this situation? How would I see this if I trusted that I'm guided and protected? This isn't about positive thinking or denial. It's about remembering that we always have access to a higher perspective. Divine guidance isn't something we have to earn or achieve. It's our natural state when we're not caught up in fear-based thinking. It's like tuning into a radio station that's always broadcasting. We just need to adjust our frequency to receive it clearly. There's a kind of confusion that many of us live with down. We try to control our behavior while leaving our thoughts unguided. It's like trying to change the image on a movie screen by manipulating the screen itself, instead of changing the film in the projector. The Course calls this level confusion, and it's the source of so much unnecessary struggle in our lives. The truth is, there's no real separation between our thoughts and our actions. They're part of one continuous flow of creation. When we try to force ourselves to act differently without addressing the thinking that's driving the behavior, we create internal tension and resistance. But when we understand that everything begins and ends with the mind, we can work with our natural creative process instead of against it. True freedom comes from recognizing this unity. We don't need to fight with ourselves or force change through willpower alone. Instead, we can gently guide our thoughts in the direction we want our lives to go, trusting that our actions will naturally follow. It's like planting seeds in good soil and trusting the natural process of growth, rather than trying to force flowers to bloom through sheer effort. This understanding brings such peace because it means we can stop the exhausting battle between what we think and what we do. When our thoughts and actions are aligned and flowing from the same loving source, life becomes an expression of grace rather than a constant struggle. If this perspective resonates with you, I encourage you to share it with someone who might be struggling with fear or feeling powerless in their life. Sometimes a simple shift in understanding can be the key that unlocks tremendous healing and freedom. May you find the courage to take responsibility for your thoughts, and may you discover the peace that comes from aligning your mind with love.